Hi there, Ralph with Stray Benzes. Beautiful spring day in Pennsylvania. And today, for this episode, we're going to work on the V-belts on a V8. Here, it doesn't really matter if it's the 560 or the 420, even the 500. They're pretty much all the same. One objective was for me to take a look at trying to figure out how to make use of OEM belts. So I wanted to compare pricing. I wanted to see the fit of the original ones versus the equivalent from, let's say, NAPA. And so here we go. I go over the tools first. A couple of the things that I picked up on getting the belts from the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center. And then we'll get to work on the car and changing all the belts. There are 4 of them, 4 different kinds. So let's see how it goes. Give the channel a like, share it with people who might benefit from them, and here we go. First things first, here are the tools. You will need a 13, a 22, 17, 19, a 6mm N, either like a wrench or socket, a 13mm socket. That should typically do it. Again, if you don't normally do this, well, take a look at the video first if you feel comfortable. Be safe. There's a lot of stuff that can happen if you don't know what you're doing. Otherwise, this is a fairly straightforward, fairly straight, not so difficult job how to do this. One thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in just a moment the table for the 123 and 126 series V-belts, all of them that you need. Here's the one that I got from the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center, and you can see these are all the ones, and I have to say I was positively surprised at the pricing for a total of almost 80 bucks, and it just took a couple of days to get. That's not bad. So with that, here's the set. It's a matched set for the main cooling fan and the power steering. This comes as a matched set, and you can clearly see, oops, of course it helps to turn it the right way. Made with pride in Germany. And here's original belts, have the Benz logo on them. And pay attention to these numbers here. Metric belts are slightly different than any other ones that you can get here locally from the typical American or even Chinese manufacturers. This is the one that is going to the air conditioning compressor. Again, Benz logo, made by OptiBelt, and again an AVX 13 by 955 LA, and that's that one. The teeny tiny one here is for the smog, the air pump. We'll get to that. It's one of the easiest ones to replace. And then this one in this bag here is the one that is going to go to the alternator. Here's the table that I was talking about. You can find all the V-belts you need for the 126, 123, and other cars. Here are a couple of noteworthy observations. For instance, that one down here, do you see how crooked that one sits in the groove? Let's see how the OEM belt will fit. The other 2 things that happened here is, upon strong acceleration, this set here is too loose and it's starting to squeal. But with these NAPA belts, the tensioner here is at the very limit. There's no way to tension it anymore. So interesting there. Same thing goes for the one here for the alternator. So you can see this one is all the way out. There's no way to tension that one, and that one is pretty loose. So we'll see how this is going to go with the OEM ones. I suspect, I'm hoping we'll be positively surprised, but again, the price is really not bad, because the NAPA belts here, they're within, I think, like $4 or $5 tops, and that is a small difference. I expected so much for the OEM belts to be so much more expensive. The other thing, if you do need to change the ones for the main fan and power steering, you need to loosen all of the others first, because there's no way to get to them. So air pump, alternator, and here the AC compressor, they need to all go. And then this one here will hopefully snake around the big fan, otherwise we'll have to disassemble the fan from the hub. But I suspect we'll be able to snake that one around. So here we go. Alright, so here we need a size 13 on the air pump. Loosen up the tensioning mount. That should be enough. And now we need a 19. That's tightening it. And there we go. Right. Hopefully it's going to allow me getting the bed off the main pulley. Not quite yet. There we go. Does help to make use of the full range of travel. I think we might be there. Yeah. All right. So this one is out of here. And then when we put the new one back on, you tighten it by moving this locking mechanism all the way, the adjustment mechanism all the way back until it tensions the bed enough, and then putting the lock, don't forget to put the locking nut and screw back on tight. Alright, the next one is the one for the AC compressor, and for that we need to get the idler pulley loosened up, because this is not a automatic tensioner here, it's done manually. If you can't loosen that one up, extend that a little bit. There you go. Got that loosened enough. Make sure that you have a fairly narrow wrench. Like this one, for instance, barely fits in there. The narrow size 17 fits better, because otherwise it's going to hit the main drive pulley. And then take a 22 and push the idler all the way down. Let's see. There we go. That's about as far as I can go. Let that come off. Yep. All right. So that's another fairly straightforward one. All right, you get the idea. There's an episode about replacing the alternator. So here the drill is, and that's where you can get even more information about how to get the alternator to budge and move. But here it is. Using enough that it has enough slack to want it to come loose. Somebody here way overdid it with the tensioning mechanism here. And it's quite knotted out. So more pressure. To budge, but once we have it, now we can. There we go. No. All right. So that is the last belt before we can finally get to the power steering and main fan. And finally, we'll loosen up the one for the power steering. Alright, that's good enough. And then we'll need to get behind here and use the tension bolt that has a Allen head bolt on it and loosen that one up. There you go. Yep, there we go. All right, you get the idea. Until we get enough slack to be able to get the belts off. There we go. Check that out in a moment. There we go. A little more. Yeah, well. Alright. So we're gonna get this bad boy completely loose. You get the idea. Insulation. You put the bed on, you tighten it up with this, and then don't forget to lock your locking mechanism nut, and that should be that. Here's also a small little addition. This one just needs to be loosened up a little bit. There's one way behind here. That is the one that you also need to loosen up in order for this pump to really start moving here. There you go. And there's something else going on with this pump that I don't like, so I'm gonna take that off here in a sec. But anyway, that's how you loosen up the power steering pump, so you can get the matched set of belts off for power steering and the main drive fan. And now hopefully we'll be able to snake that fan belt all the way around once we have it snaked through the myriad of pulleys, especially off of the main drive pulley, and then we'll snake it through the fan. I hope you can see it here. I'm going to take one belt, put it behind one blade, move it around so we can get it all the way back here, and voila, it's out. One more, one snake behind here, like so. You turn the fan, and as it comes up here, you use the rest for it to come completely down. There we go. There. This one is of course a little bit more finicky. Of course. There we go. Ah, come on. There. And there it is. So we don't have to loosen up the fan here, at the fan hub here. The moment of truth. Moment of truth, I should say. Here's the new matched belt set. That's gonna go on. Wish me luck. Alright, so let's put one through. Come on. There we go. There we go. So now we need to go on way behind here, behind the pulley. All right, yes. One. There we go. And looks like we need about every little bit that there is in terms of the tensioning device. So that one is there, and I can already tell you that this belt fits way different than the NAPA variety one, because when I just tighten this by hand, I can already see that the pump is almost level, whereas when you go back in the video you can see that that's not the case with the NAPA variety beds. And I know, see, that my new tension mechanism is working just a tad too well. Loosen that up a little bit so I can, there we go. Come on. Loosen this up even just a tad more, so we can then put belt number 2 in. There we go. Got it. I need to get this one snaked through. There we go. Almost there. Come on. There we go. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, wow. I can now tighten up the mechanism. I loosen up the zip tie. That's unique to at least Benz. There's a storm coming. Gotta hurry up. Trying to get the helicoil kit for this pump took a while. There we go. Wow, that is beautiful. Wow, what a difference. The pump is almost straight, level. It tensions the belts beautifully. Remember, after tight comes off, so don't overdo that. Now we can tighten up the hold down bolts here. Make sure that, oh wow, what a difference. This one, and there's one more down here that I probably need a different extension for. There we go. Nice. Wow, what a difference. And you can also see that the belts fit better in the groove. Beautiful. So, and that's that. Next in line is the one for the alternator. That is this beast right here. And there's another video about working on the alternator. One that you can look up. So you get this one around the pulley first. There we go. This one. And this. Wouldn't be so difficult if it was a little easier. But anyway, I digress. Here it is. So, get this one wrapped around here. If you could ever cooperate. That's a very, very tight fit. I need to see if I am actually in the right groove here. Yes, I am. Check it down from below if it's in the right groove. What a difference. I had to really make sure that I had this loose, and this loose to give the maximum amount of travel. And now the belt is on. I can now tension it and then worry about the next one, which is the AC compressor belt. This is nothing short of amazing. See how much travel I still have got left. This is about only halfway up the tension mechanism. So there's plenty of tensioning left. The belt now is very tight and I can focus on the next one, but it's amazing. There's so much more room left for me to go with the alternator. Very nice. I'm really impressed, I have to say, with the OEM belts. Okay, next one. And that's the AC compressor one. That's this one here. Fairly straightforward, as I only need a 20, that's my 21 hour. I don't know what that one is. Before we get there, sorry about that. I hope you can still see. There we go. So this one has this is the widest belt of the bunch. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, so here, wow. I don't know about you guys, if you're noticing something here. Hold on. There we go. When you look down, see, when you go back in the video, you can actually see that the NAPA belt really goes down deep into the groove, which this one doesn't do. And this is so much tighter that I had to go way down with the tension mechanism. And well, no, I can go ahead and tension that up with my 22 millimeter. Let's see if I can even get there from here. Yep, there we go. This one is tricky. I can't. All right, tighten that up. Oh, and of course I have to use a narrow size 17 because otherwise this is not gonna. Wow, man, that is, these belts are so much tighter than the NAPA ones. That is amazing. Wow. All right. This is gonna take a little bit. I got it pre-tightened. I'm gonna see if I have another 21. That's gonna allow me, or 22 millimeter. That's gonna allow me going in there without bottoming out at the pulley. Let's just see. Yep, plenty tight. And come on. Here it would be awesome to have calibrated Swiss Army knife fingers, not the sausage fingers of mine. All right. I'm gonna abuse this a little bit, and let's just make sure. Wow, nice. This one, and the last one is going to be the one at the air pump. Last one up is this little cutie pie. And that one goes on the very outboard end of the main drive pulley. and down on my little air pump, which might be better. I might be better off doing that from below the car where I need to tension it anyway. Alright, so here we are. Got that little belt on there, and now we just need to put that thing right over here. Takes a little bit of convincing. There we go. Alright, and then we tighten this one right there. Well, this little booger was definitely that. I'm at the very end of my travel, and this one is super tight on there. Trying to get it on, but it's all better. Now we can tension this. Tighten this up a little bit. Not enough, a lot of room here. Like anything, still better than most of the cars nowadays. There we go. All right, not too tight. So now we can use a 19 to tension this thing. There we go. All right, one more. Go too overboard here. That's a little too tight. All right. And locking it up, and that should be it. Remember, if the tight comes off, now we can do a test run, see what happens. Okay, showtime. Let's see if anything we can learn from this. Nice. Very, very nice. Alright. Awesome. with that, I would say that is another successful job. There's no squealing anymore. Upon acceleration, the and with the power steering pump, without being able to travel anymore, the those belts were squealing badly anymore. So it was we were just heading towards a disaster. And after a couple of thousand miles, we'll see. We'll take another look if they need tensioning. Give the channel a like. I hope changing V-belts was a topic that you might be looking for. It doesn't really matter what kind of engine you have. When you have V-belts and you have all kinds of tension mechanisms on there, they require that you use the right size belt. The old ones, they were in portions that were pretty severely worn. They had about 30,000 miles on them. Shouldn't have mattered, but these are definitely going to last a little bit longer, and they have a lot more travel everywhere on each of the four different in each of the four different locations. So with that, have a great time. Take good care of your old Benzes and share it with others. Bye.